Hello doctors, welcome to 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗺. We are discussing the GI infections today. Gastrointestinal infections, this is our 6th class and there are two topics of discussion. One is the Salmonella, that is responsible for causing enteric fever, and other is Vibrio cholera. My dear friends, Salmonella we have already discussed in CVS, okay, cardiovascular system. So I'm not going to teach it again. But the link of Salmonella we will surely going to give you in the description. Please go back and watch our video related to Salmonella and then you will be ready to write the Salmonella in your exams. Now we will proceed on to another bacteria of vital importance, Vibrio cholera. So Vibrio cholera, let us first look about some introductory part. You should know that Vibrio cholera is C and D come together. It is having the darting motility. I have already discussed with you about the darting motility in general microbiology. So the pH which is suitable for the growth of cholera is 8.4 to 8.6, that is suitable. And remember, Vibrio cholera is non-halophile, okay. Other Vibrios, they love salty environment, but Vibrio cholera does not love salt, okay. So generally all the Vibrios love, but Vibrio cholera, no, okay. So remember, Vibrio cholera, okay, cholera. So cholera can be written as Cl, okay. So Cl like NaCl, it does not want, okay. Now it says no to Cl, okay. Vibrio cholera does not require sodium chloride. Remember, Vibrio cholera is having the fish in stream appearance, whereas there is a bacteria called as 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺 ducreyi. It is having fish in stool appearance. Okay, so 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺 ducreyi is having fish in stool appearance. So how to remember? Whenever a child visits the school, he or she cries a lot. So because they cry, so 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺 ducreyi is having fish in stool appearance, whereas Vibrio cholera is having stream. Okay. So Vibrio cholera, whenever you do a VC means video call, you live stream yourself. So that is why Vibrio cholera VC is having fish in stream appearance. Okay. So what are the preliminary tests for the laboratory diagnosis of Vibrio cholera? So the tests are catalase positive, oxidase positive, indole positive, nitrate reductase positive, sucrose fermenter, everything is positive. Mnemonic become coins. So Vibrio cholera, coins. So Vibrio cholera means VC, video call. So whenever do the video call, you need a recharge, no? A mobile recharge is required, that is done by coins, so it is coins positive. It is sting test positive. Sting test positive means whenever from a sample, if you put, this is a sample, suppose cholera sample, and you put a spoon and then you take the spoon away, it is showing just like a sting formation. So it is sting test positive, string test positive. So there is another test which is another reaction which is positive, that is called as cholera red reaction. Just remember cholera red reaction, which is the media. So 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺 media is the media which is used. I always teach like this, 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺, C for culture and C for cholera. So remember 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺 agar, cholera agar is very important. Now B and C come very close to each other, so remember bile salt agar, okay, bile salt agar. And one more broth is there, that is called as Monceau's gelatin taurocolate broth. Just remember the gelatin broth, that is more than sufficient because C and G looks together, looks same. I told you Vibrio loves alkaline environment, that's why the favorite pH is around 8.4 to 8.6. So it grows in alkaline peptone water, that is the enrichment broth. If you don't know what is enrichment, please see our culture method and culture media video, you will understand. How will you carry the cholera? So cholera is carried by Carrie Blair media. That means 𝗲𝗵 media is the transport media for cholera. And V for Vibrio, V for Venkataraman Ramakrishnan media. Okay, so these are the culture medias for Vibrio. Coming on to antigens. For Vibrio, antigens are very important. So one is O antigen somatic, everybody knows. H antigen flagella, everybody knows. From H you can remember another H which is called as 𝗲𝗵. Which is called as 𝗲𝗵. What are the different other ones? So remember the spelling Vibrio, I and O. So I and O means 𝗖𝗵, that is starting from I, and 𝗲𝗵, that is starting from O. So 𝗖𝗵, 𝗲𝗵. Okay. Coming on to the last one, Bengal strain. This is an important strain. Okay, this is a very important strain. Bengal strain is very important strain for cholera. So remember, B and C come together. So B for Bengal strain for cholera is something which is important epidemic strain. How does it causes the virulence? So again, A, B, C, C for cholera. So the toxins are A and B, or you can say one toxin but two subunits, B and A. Okay, B and A. So A increases cyclic AMP, that leads to accumulation of fluid and electrolytes, that is secretory diarrhea. B for, don't say attachment, B for binding. B for binding. So you can easily remember. Okay. So that is why it is responsible for causing secretory diarrhea, and everybody should know that this secretory diarrhea is just watery. That means it is having rice watery stools. This is the most important question anyone can get. Remember the mnemonic or the spelling, RI is coming in Vibrio. This is the rice watery stool. Coming on to next one, TCP, that is toxin co-regulated pilus. Pili, you very well know, it is for the attachment. It is for what? It is for attachment. Now, Vibrio is of two types, or you can say Vibrio exists in these two subtypes. One is called as classical, other is called as 𝗲𝗏𝗏. So before I tell you about classical and 𝗲𝗏𝗏, let me just tell you what do you mean by cholera red reaction. So remember, the indol plus nitrate together, they are called as cholera red reaction. Okay. So now coming on to the classical and 𝗲𝗏𝗏. So these are two types which you have to understand, the classical versus 𝗲𝗏𝗏. So depending on the O1 antigen, they are either classical or 𝗲𝗏𝗏, right? So just for the sake of an example, if we have the chicken RBC, 𝗲𝗏𝗏 shows a positive hemagglutination. If we check for sheep RBC, 𝗲𝗏𝗏 shows a positive hemagglutination. 𝗲𝗏𝗏 is polymyxin B resistant. Remember, 𝗲𝗏𝗏, ELTOR. So this is resistant. VP test positive. Yes, see, it is positive. Phage type 4. Yes, phage type 4 and phage type 5. So phage means bacteriophage. So phage type 4 is classical, phage type 5 is 𝗲𝗏𝗏. So please remember, 4 and 5, and alphabetically C comes first, E comes late, and also E is the fifth alphabet, right? So you got it. Otherwise, for every agglutination, 𝗲𝗏𝗏 is positive. For VP test, 𝗲𝗏𝗏 is positive. Otherwise, I have told you how to remember this. Alright. So these is called as 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺's classification on the basis of the fermentation. Okay, you got it. And coming on to, yes, so we have discussed the O antigen on the basis of O1 antigen. So there are some other also like O139 antigen, and then you have got non-O1, non-139 antigen. Okay, these three antigens are there. Fine. So this classification is called as Venkataraman Gardner classification. Venkataraman Gardner classification. Okay. So I hope that it is clear to you. Coming on to a very, very important thing, please understand there is something which is called as motility inhibition test. motility inhibition test which is performed for Vibrio. What does that actually mean? Please remember that Vibrio is responsible for showing the darting motility, and in order to stop this darting motility, we use a serum which is called as anti-serum. So whenever this anti-serum is used, this darting motility is stopped. So if by using that serum, if the darting motility is stopped, that means if stopped, then that means it is Vibrio. If it is not stopped, that means it is not Vibrio, it is non-Vibrio. Okay, it is non-Vibrio. Coming on to the management. Okay, so remember management, the main treatment is ORS and rehydration. In adults, you give doxycycline, remember D coming, D-doxycycline. In children, you have to give azithromycin. In children and even pregnancy, because doxycycline is contraindicated, so you have to give azithromycin. But please remember, if it is because of food poisoning, you need not give any antibiotic because it is purely toxin mediated. Coming on to other Vibrios like 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵. 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵 has a lot of S. Okay, so it is salt loving, halophile. It has got swarming motility. It is because of seafood poisoning. Okay, so seafood if you are eating, please be careful, because 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵 can, because sea is full of salt, and seafood if you are eating, Vibrio 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗵 can cause infection. And it shows a phenomena which is called as 𝗓𝗃 phenomena. What is 𝗓𝗃 phenomena? On blood agar, it shows hemolysis. So this is the blood agar which I am trying to show you, and it is going to show what? It is going to show the hemolysis on blood agar. Okay, so this class was about the Vibrio, and we have learned Vibrio in a good detail. If you have some doubt, you can surely mention them in the comment section. Thank you so much.